To remain an organic human presents rewards according to the book of Revelation. The 144,000 plus righteous ones receive as their reward 5 immensely powerful crowns or activations. These are the crown of life, the incorruptible crown, the crown of righteousness, the crown of glory, the crown of exaltation. Each of these crowns are earned by spiritual work, the light work that you're doing, of those who believe in the return of Christ and the other avatars. And this is what we need to focus on, is how do we activate these halos? That's what the crowns are. They are crowns that come from within us. It's not something you're going to go get. It's a revealing of the soul's natural organic capabilities. Look at the crown of glory, for example. Peter says, and when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that does not fade away. We're being offered a succession of technologies right now that do fade away, and nobody knows where they ultimately will lead. We have a pretty good sense that they're not leading to a good place, in fact, to a disastrous place. But the true crown will not fade away. The crown of glory, says Peter, will be awarded to all those who long for or love the appearance of the chief shepherd, Christ. And again, I'm not pushing Christianity on anybody. I'm presenting Christ as an avatar, like the Buddha, like other avatars. And what this is asking you to do is to align with those beings rather than the kings, the earthly kings of Silicon Valley, working in conjunction with Beijing and other anti-God, anti-human, anti-Christian, in fact, anti-Christ, anti-avatar people on this planet. That crown of glory, and glory means to glow rays, is again another manifestation of the Tibetan rainbow light body teaching. Buddhists see, as I said a moment ago, the avatar in Maitreya, the next Buddha. And here we see the Amaba Buddha, which is another original manifestation of the Buddha, and of course, Maitreya, awaiting those on the path of righteousness. And we see the Amaba Buddha standing here on the right, and you see this ribbon extending from his third eye. And as you follow the ribbon, you see that it ultimately lands upon this little guy down here in the left-hand corner. That's us. And there are bodhisattvas that are waiting with an open lotus to take that soul to the Amaba Buddha. This is another wonderful open eye meditation, something for you to contemplate, meditate, reflect on. Think about what would it be like to be in the presence of the Amaba Buddha? And what comfort do you draw from knowing that there is this way beyond advanced spiritual being, perhaps even beyond our imagination, that is at this very moment contemplating, reflecting, and thinking about you and drawing you towards that higher spiritual realm and higher spiritual manifestation on earth. And how does it make you feel to know that you are connected to, through a light ribbon, a being like the Amaba Buddha or the Christ being? That in fact, the Christ or Amaba Buddha, the Maitreya, could actually manifest in your consciousness, and you could be used as a vehicle of manifestation for that being. Are you ready for that? Are you game for that? What are you doing in your life that is keeping you off of that mission? Maybe it's time to let some of those activities go and focus exclusively on being in service in this way. Jewish prophecy talks about our time specifically, very specifically. And I want to reference that right now because, of course, in the Jewish tradition, the avatar is referred to as Messiah. And the Jews do not believe that Jesus was the Messiah. They are still awaiting the arrival of Messiah. They describe in the Kabbalistic texts a burst in advanced technology, a drop in morality, and a return to a different state of being. Jewish tradition predicts that there will be an extremely advanced technology in the Messianic era. All disease will be eliminated, as the prophet foretold. And as Isaiah said, then the eyes of the blind will be opened and the ears of the deaf will be unstopped. Then the lame man will leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb will sing. All of this is now possible through AI and transhuman technology. We can give sight to the blind, and it's nearly miraculous. It is miraculous, really, for those who have adopted this technology. We can help the deaf to hear. The lame man can regain the ability to walk and run and jump. And those who couldn't speak now can. We can even control devices through thought alone. And this is thought to be a manifestation of this prophecy. In order that man devote himself totally to achieving spiritual perfection, many forms of labor will become obsolete in Kabbalistic teaching. This is the dream of the socialists that are trying to run or ruin the planet right now. A number of additional miracles are predicted, such as grapes as large as hen's eggs and grains of wheat as big as a fist. That's GMO food, right? We're already seeing that in our grocery store. We're eating that, which means we are now also genetically modified organisms. And as we now know, all this can become possible with technology not too far removed from what we are seeing in the marketplace today. And all of this would be mere conjecture and even forced interpretation if it were not for the fact that our present technological revolution has also been predicted by the Kabbalists with an approximate date as to its inception. Almost 2,000 years ago, the Zohar, the Jewish mystical text, the Kabbalistic text, predicted that in the 600th year of the 6th millennium, the gates of wisdom on high and the well springs of lower wisdom will be opened, and this will prepare the world to enter the 7th millennium, just as a person prepares himself towards sunset on Friday for the Sabbath. It's the same here. And the mnemonic for this is in the book of Genesis 7:11. In the 600th year, all the foundations of the great deep were split. Here we see a clear prediction that in the Jewish year 5600, which was 1840 of our time, the well springs of lower wisdom, you can even say demonic wisdom, would be opened, and there would be a sudden expansion of secular knowledge, and also correspondingly a rise in anti-spiritualism and anti-Christ type behavior. Although the year 1840 did not yield a specific scientific breakthrough, this date corresponds in an uncanny accurate way with the onset of our present scientific revolution. This is important because this led to the idea that you are nothing but matter. You are just information. There's nothing spiritual going on with you whatsoever. And ultimately, it led us to this point where we're at today of the complete disavowal of our spiritual selves. This tradition, the Kabbalistic tradition, may have even anticipated the tremendous destructive powers of our modern technology. Some of it is truly wonderful, but we have completely, nearly destroyed the planet in just under 200 years. Thus, we are taught that the Messianic era will begin in a generation with the power to destroy itself. Before 1840, humans did not possess the power to completely eradicate the human race, nor did we have a predator before this time. But now we do. And we have the power to completely destroy the human race, and we have a predator. The rapid changes on both a technological and sociological level will result in great social upheaval. Good morning, we're living that now. The cataclysmic changes will result in considerable suffering, which is often referred to as the birth pangs of the Messiah. And here's the thing, the Kabbalists teach that if the Messiah comes with miracles, these birth pangs may be avoided, but the great changes involved in the coming in a natural manner may make these birth pangs inevitable. So the 1840s is the key time when we, according to the Jewish tradition, the Kabbalistic tradition, we can start anticipating the arrival of the Messiah or the Jewish avatar. So the first industrial revolution starts between 1820 and 1840 in London. It brought our exploitation of fossil fuels and monumental increases of energy use and population started to push us far enough to show a discernible human influence beyond natural variability. Until 1840, we lived in what they call the Holocene era. Now we live in the Anthropocene era, an era in which human activity is harming the earth. In the 1940s, we saw a great acceleration in this messianic prophecy. With the beginning of the nuclear age, we now have the ability to destroy the human race and possibly even the planet itself. And since the 1940s, not only did our testing and use of atomic weaponry, with over 2,000 atomic bombs exploded and 39,000 nuclear warheads sprinkled around the planet. And since then, we've left a distinctive radioactive signature in the sediments of Earth, one that can be detectable from space, from light years away, and will be here for millions of years. It's also left an effect on almost all human activities, from water use to fertilizer consumption to globalization, and all of that has intensified. If you're an extraterrestrial species wondering if there's life on Earth, you could create sensors that could detect the use of fertilizers in our soil, as well as radioactive elements, and know the type of civilization that is existing on our planet. Since the 1950s, when we entered into the IT era, or the technological era, we entered the third industrial revolution, and we began adding additional layers of pollution, CO2, plastic, as well as the nuclear and electromagnetic radiation, all now being added to the atmospheric bubble that enables life on our spaceship Mother Earth. All of these elements and additions, this radiation, cause cancer in humans and animals alike. Even plants are not immune from pollution damage. Since the 2000s, when we entered the fourth industrial revolution and began adding layers of 4G and now 5G radiation to the atmospheric bubble, we have increasingly been altering our environment and our bodies. From a Kabbalistic perspective, we are experiencing the birth pangs of the Messiah. And it could be difficult because the Kabbalists teach that if we had remained organic, those birth pangs would not be as difficult as they potentially can be now that we have chosen the technological path. And this is what we're confronting at this time. We are now creating a new layer of radiation and smog or electrosmog on this planet. We're being bombarded every single moment of our lives by high frequencies at low short range intensities. They're creating a dense super electromagnetic smog that organic, pure humans were never meant to live in. This is planned. This is planned from the perspective of a dark force that wants to remove us from our organic selves and transform us into the new AI beings that they have planned, living on an AI Earth. This is called the Green New Deal, the new AI Earth. Everything that we know as the old Earth is about to be destroyed by these people or augmented by them to make way for the smart, green, new AI Earth and the green, new human. Here, we will meet the avatars with a little a. And I'm going to make this distinction now because the avatar with a big A refers to the high spiritual beings, Christ, Buddha, Maitreya, Kalki avatar. The avatar with a little a represents the mocking or mimicking of the Beijing Silicon Valley axis. And you can add Washington, D.C. to that axis too, because we all know that many of our politicians are bought and sold by communist China. They represent the dragon of the book of Revelation, the beast. It's in full effect and it's running wild on our planet at this time. And we elected it. We chose this. And we're left with that choice now. And it's up to us now to navigate this world that they are trying to superimpose on our world. If you look at the advertising and marketing of companies like Samsung and AT&T and others, they are showing this new world that's being superimposed over our physical, I should say, our old, broken down, useless, organic reality. They despise it. They want to see us turned into a Borg-like civilization that now reaches into a new, better, perfected, Silicon Valley speak, the word they use is gooder, a gooder reality that they totally control. Free will, the concept of a soul, sovereignty, spirituality, completely goes out the window.